And we are live. Well, a couple of us are anyway.
No, we are live. We are. Well, you can't see me because there's a light straight behind the camera because we're busy doing stuff. And Jamie's here. Jamie, just stick your head in the camera. See, Jamie's here. He's setting up his laptop.
Jamie's face.
Oh God. He just broke your camera, Richard. Your camera doesn't work anymore.
Jamie's got awesome Jamie's Page stickers, like proper awesome Jamie's Page stickers.
Cool. It's a bit late now. Now none of us can get any.
I've got one on my bandsaw.
I'm seeing a lot of familiar people from last night, Steve, and I'm just going to say this, and let's not expound upon it, boys. This will not be a fanny pack show, okay? We're not going to.
It will not be a vagina bag show either.
Because Steve's show last night stands in the annals of YouTube history as being golden. We're not going to try to polish that. That was freaking hilarious last night, Mr. Twidell. I don't mind telling you, you had me freaking cracking up.
Yeah, it was bad. It was badly needed in the community, I think, because everyone was on a downer after MC. Hello.
That's all. That's the only bit you know, isn't it, Steve? You don't know anything else. Can you remember the rest?
Good evening. Good morning. Good
afternoon.
Time it is.
Good time, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening.
Who cares? Because it's not my introduction. And I was on time for this podcast. So up yours, Richard.
Well, that's the point. We didn't really have an absolute, like a proper time, did we?
Annals, Mark. Annals. Sorry.
Hey, hang on. Yeah. Jamie's saying something to me and I can't hear him because I've got headphones on. 1 second.
What? Christopher, we're not going there. Okay? Just stop it. Right where you are, stop it.
I think we're actually being videoed by Jake at the minute. I don't know. He's got his phone out, and I'm always worried when Jake gets his phone out because it generally means, yes, it's in landscape mode.
Does that why you sent me a message saying no potty mouth?
That's what.
Yeah, basically.
That way people will get to see the behind the scenes of how disorganized we really are. Hi, Jake. Hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Everyone's saying hi to you, Jake. Do you want to come on for a bit, Jake, and say hello? I'll let Jamie sort himself out because he'll need like the Wi-Fi password and bits and pieces like that. You don't have to. You can. You're on vacation, dude. You're not at work.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Jake. You're on vacation. All the more reason why you should be on time.
Sometimes I don't think you make sense, and then you talk and prove me right.
How are you, Jake? You enjoying your vacation?
I'm pretty good. I'm having one heck of a time. Vacation of a lifetime.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You're at Richards with Jamie. No, Jake, I think there's room to improve upon this. We could improve upon your vacation compared to where you are right now.
we just left a bar that's almost 1,000 years old.
Okay, you can't beat that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Present company excluded. I'll give you that.
Did you drink the original beer from it?
No.
Probably a bit.
I don't drink, but it was cool to go in there and they got signs up talking about the history of it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Jake, you don't drink.
Sound awesome.
I'm allergic.
Okay. Well, it was nice having you on, man. We'll talk to you later. No, I'm just
peace out.
I'm just kidding.
Newsflash, Jake. We're all allergic to drink.
I can't argue with you there.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've been a spectator at more than one event, Jake. Yeah.
I wasn't always allergic, I promise you.
No, that's all right. No, I get it. It's not a problem.
My 20s are a little hazy.
Yeah.
Was I 20? I think I don't see. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. I don't really remember my 20s either. I mean, I remember I got married in my 20s. I think that happened. Yeah. Other than that, I really don't remember much.
Yeah, I got married when I was in my 20s too.
I was 24 years old when I got married.
I was 22. No, 21.
Holy moly, Steve! God, congratulations. That's early for a commitment like that.
I was 18 on my first one.
Well, that's why it didn't work, Jake.
Well, I was 40 on my second one. That one didn't work either.
Oh. then you're just an asshole.
No, well, I know.
I'm kidding.
I'm just good at firing them.
Oh, great. The Apprentice. Here we go. You're fired.
You're fired.
Well, we've had enough of that. Thank you. Anyway, where's Richard and Jamie? Are they even?
They're doing some electrical work over here.
All right. We should give folks a little backstory to this. Richard had this, and Steve, you feel free to hop in anytime you would like to, along with this story. Richard had this idea. I think, was it yesterday, Steve, or was it even a day before that?
He had this idea anyway.
Yeah, we're not quite sure when, but he was adamant about doing today's pop-up podcast. He's like, "No, we need to do it. We need to do it. Strike while the iron's hot. After Maker Central, because we want to still talk about what went on, and we want to go back. We didn't get a chance to cover everything that on the live broadcast, and so we should do another one. We should do it now. Okay." And then I spent the better part of yesterday afternoon trying to narrow Richard down on what time we could actually freaking do this. And I couldn't get an answer out of him until Jamie finally said when he could be there. And then, so, to accommodate Richard and his desires, I made sure that I was done with my things that I had to do in my personal life today to be here at 3:00, because that's the time that Richard said we'll be ready to go. And no, it didn't happen.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we're going to blame it on Jamie no matter what.
Yeah, Berkey's not here, so it's got to be. No, actually, no. This is going to get blamed on Richard. No, blame it on Richard, because actually, this is the one time where Jamie.
Hey, they're about to feed me, so it's Jamie's fault.
Okay, don't bite the hand. I hear you.
Yeah, right. I've learned some things.
Yeah, no, it's all Richard's fault. End of story.
Well, you guys can blame it on him. I'm blaming it on Jamie, and then I'm going to eat a good meal.
What food did you order?
It's some Indian food, and I just I trusted them, and they ordered for me.
Awesome. The Mad Maker, and you know what? We did actually delay this because we knew that you were live to do your giveaway. I know that sounds good, and that's the way we're trying to make it sound. But honestly, we didn't know you were going to be live, buddy. But we did delay things a little bit so that you could get your giveaway done. I hope that all worked out for you.
It was nice talking to you, fellas.
Oh, you too, Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll see y'all later.
Go stuff your face and come back and tell us the truth.
I have no problem.
Okay.
It's your backside tomorrow morning. I feel sorry for.
I'll join you in a second. So what are you guys up to?
Oh, about 5'8.5".
Yeah, I'm about 5'11".
So what are we talking about? What have you been up to? Steve, are you back at work, or are you still off Postmaker Central, or what are you up to?
No, I'm back at work. Yes, I've been back 2 days. I did kind of a day's work yesterday of just walking around like a zombie, and then I did a full day today, still kind of like a zombie. And the kids are like, "What's he saying? I can't understand a word he's saying. That's not Steve. That's not his voice." Autistic kids can't deal with change, and when your voice goes from quite a loud, clear voice to a husky porn king's voice, it gets a bit weird for them.
Jamie's back.
Jamie's back. Oh.
Say hello.
Hey, doggy noodle.
No.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Why are you in here with me and not with the food? Ow! Just bit my nose.
Good dog. Good dog. Good dog.
Just nipped the end of my nose.
I'm glad. Is Paige getting around, or is he stuffing his face?
He's stuffing his face, dude. We've got a hot chow just turned up, and they're eating. Our guests are eating. I'm holding the fort.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. These things happen. I don't care.
Once again, the professional show that we are. It absolutely. When we pop up, it should be even less professional. And you know what?
It is.
We've succeeded. So congratulations, boys and girls. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Welcome, fans of podcast.
So you had to nip out today, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, and I had to rush home in order to be here on time, which I was, and you guys weren't. but it's okay. It's all water under the bridge, as they say, my friend.
Okay.
So yes, what was your next question going to be, Mr. Morley? And then please think about it carefully.
Well, no, I mean, I was going to ask what you've been up to today. That was it, because I knew you had to go out today. You didn't say what. I didn't know if you. It's like, I don't know. Was it like grocery run? Were you like?
No. I had more going on than that. I had to travel to the town closest to me, which is about an hour away, and I had to take care of some personal business there. And I spent quite some time doing that, and then I had to drive an hour back in order to be here at 3 because we had this to do.
Okay. Yeah, we did, but we actually didn't know exactly what time we were going to be around because it was all up in the air as to what time Jamie and Jake got here. So,
well, no, I see, because I had messaged Jamie, unbeknownst to you, and said, "Here's the deal: we need you to try to be at Richards by 5, so that you guys have a chance to sit down, eat, relax, and then we can be all ready to go by 8 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock my time." And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, we should probably get that done, no problem." And I went, "Good. Okay, so there we go. Richard's 3 o'clock is 3 o'clock, or 8 o'clock if you'd like, if you'd rather. But whatever, that's fine."
No, that's good. I literally just had the live chat up and it paused it because I can't see the live chat unless it's on my phone. I can't see it on my screen because the screen's too small. So I'm wondering, is there anyone in the chat asking questions? But
no, and at some point in time during this podcast, we're going to talk about Maker Central and try to address the things that we, I guess, didn't have the perspective to address immediately following the show on Sunday. I know that's kind of what you wanted to do today, isn't it, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Sunday was just a blur. It was still part like the evening, because I don't know about Steve. You probably felt even more than I did because you literally just walked in the hall, turned your lathe on, stood there like for about 84 hours, had X amount like people coming in, and then someone said, "Now you've got to turn the lathe." You were just being directed by people. I don't think you knew what day of the week it was, and I was pretty much the same. And you must have been worse than me. So all the things that I wanted to say, we could just completely forgotten, and just a bit of a blur. Especially when you added the fact that the audio wasn't really working that well, because there's I don't know how many people in the lobby and all the rest of it, but stuff like that. But do you actually remember on Sunday? See, that was, I can't remember what day it was. We were telling you about the little girl whose birthday it was, who her dad was going to buy her a lathe, and we gave her some of the pen blanks and whatnot that were left over. Do you remember that, Chris?
I do remember that. I thought you were talking to Steve. I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to both of you because
okay.
Presumably you were both there on Sunday. Well,
so I was actually there. I was actually there all weekend. You probably didn't notice me though. I was working quite hard.
You just in the hall like 2 o'clock in the morning, still at your lathe, going, "It's quiet. Turn the lights out." When did it get dark? Well, Kat got she had a message from. I'm going to get this wrong. I'm pretty sure her name was Susie. From Susie's dad, saying something along the effects of she's started up her channel. She hasn't got any videos yet, but she's starting a channel. She's going to get a lathe this week sometime. And this, like, all systems go. This little girl, 11 or 12 years old, is absolutely bam, hit the ground running, mad for turning stuff, which I was blown away, literally. Not literally, obviously, but literally in the way we use the word literally incorrectly these days, that this girl has literally left Maker Central on such a high. She's into the turning thing. And
let me paint a picture for you guys real quick, because I can't talk about this year. And so I'm trying to get myself into this conversation. Let me kind of paint a picture from my experiences last year. When I was able to do this, and it's just like I said, just based on what I went through last year. No, and I'm curious as if this is relatively universal for everyone. So anybody in the chat who maybe felt or did the same things I did, feel free to acknowledge. So okay, I was about 90% packed and ready to go last year, about a week beforehand. So I mean. No, and this is not a joke. I was, the 10% that was left over were the bathroom stuff that I had to put together the day that I left. Anyway, then the day of my flight came. I was actually in Canada with Mark Christopher. the butterflies about the excitement about the show kicked in a little bit. Mark and I landed in Heathrow. We caught the train to Birmingham. We arrived at the hotel. And while we were trying to sort out our room with the desk clerk, I was looking around the lobby to see if there was anyone I knew that was there already. And I saw a few people. And so Mark and I rushed up to the room, dropped off our bags, took care of our personal business. And then we headed back downstairs to the bar area where everyone that we knew that was there already was congregated. And that's the last I remember. Because I just want to know if anybody else had a similar experience or if that was just me. I mean, I'm trying to not feel weird here, guys. So anybody who wants to chime into the chat, let me know if that was what happened to them this year. Then I would be really happy to hear that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a blur. All right. It was like one of those. Do you know the best way to explain Maker Central is? Do you ever see one of those speeded up night videos of a highway or a really busy road where all the red cars are going, all the red lights and all the headlights are going both ways, and like the cars are meeting and passing each other really fast? That's kind of Maker Central, because you arrive and then you go into nighttime fast mode. Everything just becomes a blur.
Ends up being a really cool picture, but you just don't remember much of it. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's a good analogy to see. Anyway, honestly, go ahead.
As I was just going to say, as I said last night, that Maker Central for me this year was all about the social side of it. That was my Maker Central. And
right.
That was just as awesome as the show, if I'm honest.
Well, Steve, let me ask you a question, because and I'll even ask this without Richard and Jamie in the room, because God knows I'm not going to let them volunteer me for anything very soon in the future. The Make with Makers booth. If Maker Central should happen again,
yes,
is that something we should do? Or Steve, if it happens again, should we maybe turn that over to somebody else? If there is a next time, the reason why I asked this, is particularly because I watched your show last night, and I heard what you were saying about not really seeing the show, and you've been twice and you haven't seen it once. So because the reason why I'm asking you this specifically, Steve, is because this year when we said we were going to do the Make with Makers booth there, when I was still planning on going, I was trying to make it real clear to everybody that we weren't going to be there, each one of us, all the time, because we went there to go enjoy the show. But yet I know you, and if there's people standing there willing to do something, you're not going to leave. And I assume you were that busy, which is why you didn't get the break to go walk around and see the show the way you wanted to.
Yes. I knew when I signed up for this that I wasn't going to leave that late, if I'm honest.
You should have said that, Steve, because I think I could have. All right.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
As I said last night, I don't regret it. And what I will say now is, if we were to do it again the next time Maker Central's on, if it's on, I would do exactly the same thing again. And I will also try and get as many other types of makers in that space and try and go 3 times as big as we had this year.
Could you do that without any regrets? Because after listening to you last night, I wasn't sure that you could. Okay.
And I tell you when I had my epiphany and why I changed. I've even changed from last night, and it's blowing smoke up his backside. But Joe Whitaker released a video today, and it was his Makers Central video. Now, a lot of people have released their videos, and they're really good. They are fantastic. But the way Joe done his, it was almost as if you were walking through the hall with him. He went to every single booth, and he explained what every one of them did, and blah blah blah. And I looked at all the booths, and I thought, yeah, they're cool, they're fantastic, and it would have been nice to have seen it, but I wouldn't have got any part of the buzz from walking up to them and talking to the people in their booths that I did talking to the people that I was turning pens with, and the people coming up to me. I've realized that I got more enjoyment from the show doing what I was doing and what I know I'm good at, then I think I would have walking around and wasting a lot of hours going round and round in circles in a show.
Okay. The reason why I asked that was just because I wanted to make sure that if it happens again, and if we do something similar to that again, I don't want any of us, to feel like we missed out on something because we were chained to a booth. Because I can guarantee you, excuse me, if I had been there this year, that would not have happened with me. I would not have been there 100% of the time. But
and Leona's just reminded me in the chat as well. Joe's video managed, and you're not going to believe this, Richard. Joe's video managed to go past the Maker with Maker stand when I wasn't there, and Chris Fisher was.
Where were you?
Whoa. You were on the stand with us. I thought Chris was there the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't. Did you? I thought you missed Maker Central this year.
Well, Chris was there until you tried killing him.
That was nothing to do. There was nothing to do with me. But I tell you what, just go back to kind of what before it gets out of hand. Before to go back to what Chris was saying about not seeing the show and all the rest of it. I'm exactly the same as you, Steve. I've done the demo circuit a few times at the NEC, down in Exeter, various kind of showgrounds and places, and they are all very much the same. The doors open, you get inundated with stuff. The thing that you plan to do for the course of the duration of the show, as simple as it sounds, never happens because you're there talking to people the whole time. And that is exactly what happens when you walk around the show. You talk to loads of people. So by being on a stand, you get all the talking to people without all the walking. And from one point of view, it's a win-win. And it's part of the thing. But I would do exactly the same. And just like you said, Steve, if I did it again, I'd want to do it bigger and more. Because let's say, for argument's sake, you did it and you said, right, we'll get someone else on to do, we'll double up. So it's Steve and another doing pen turning. It's Steve, it's me and someone else doing routing. It's Kat and someone else doing airbrushing. It's Red and someone else doing leatherworking. You take all your own tools. Really, do you want to leave all your kit the way you have it with somebody else when you're not there? Honestly, I think very few people. Yeah, we'd all like to go, yeah, help yourself, but really, because when it comes to like you're looking for something, because that person's gone off to wander around, you can be like, what have they done with it? Why is it not where I always have it? Because that person doesn't know. So it's and who wants to be that guy to go? No, sorry, it's 4 o'clock, closing, because I want to see the show. If you're personally, my belief is if you go to a show on a stand, you see the stand before doors open, you get in the day before or the night before and you set your stuff up and you have it ready to go for doors open. And then that's why you have an extra 2 hours, is to make sure that you're up and running when the punters come past. Because if you're still faffing around looking for this and getting that out of a box, they just walk by and you lose them. If you get those first people in and you're busy, because we were right by the front doors, all those people come in, you get working, those first people see your stand and they stop and see what's going on. And the people behind them think, oh, what's that happening there? And it just attracts people right at the start and you almost create a bottleneck. Whereas if you want to see the stand, if you want to see the show, you go see the show before the doors open. That's why you get why you get an extra 2 hours above everyone else before the show. So you've got 4 hours when the punters aren't there, and you could easily walk around that stall in 4 hours over the course of 2 days.
I would even suggest that if it was to ever happen again, that we would ask for a much bigger area with our own stage, so that we can organize stage time with the makers that are there as well for Q&A, so that you're giving the same answers to all the to everybody, if you know what I mean. So the questions can be asked and everyone can hear the information, and make it a maker corner, a make with maker's corner.
That would be, I think that's, Steve, that would be a fantastic idea. But here is the first thing I think of when you say that, is that we may have to do a kind of a community fundraising thing in order to get that done, because the amount of space that we would be asking Nick for, he still has to pay for. So, I mean, we should be able to pony up some sort of money to go for that. But I think as a community, we could do that.
Honestly, having been there was a massive spaces, like massive empty areas where stuff like that could have been
That was
put.
that was going to be my next question. And let me ask this before you interrupt me. From the footage I saw, and granted, I haven't seen everybody's videos yet. I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't seen all of them. But from the footage I saw, it didn't look to be as packed full of people as it was last year. My question is basically this: was that because the show itself increased in size, or was there less attendance? Because I'm guessing it was probably because it was in a bigger hall.
Yeah, it was basically because you had more people in way bigger space.
Okay, got it. All right, yeah. Because I mean, last year we were in so the space, comparatively speaking, from last year, the space that you guys were in this year, what was the size difference? Was it like double that size, or
I think it went from. I think Nick said it went from 7,000 square to 11,000. Was that right?
It was definitely 11 this time.
Something like that, yeah.
So basically, it
just
was like
double, just under double, yeah. I
Yeah,
think.
it was like last year and a half again. That's that's awesome because that made it really comfortable for people to walk around. You didn't have to, because there was a point in time last year where I felt like a bit of a cow trying to maneuver my way through the herd in order to get to where I wanted to go.
Right, yeah.
That's well, good, excellent.
And there were areas like that. So between like the stalls, so you had like you'd have like a corridor on the end of the wall. You'd have the 3 meter deep stands all down the line, and then you'd have like a gangway, and then another stand, and then another stand on the back of that, and then another gang, like in blocks. But in certain areas, there were just these huge expanses of open space, like towards the back of the hall. So
Gotcha.
they were huge areas. They have a big tracts of space where people were just milling around. I mean, the trend stand, which on the map was quite close into everything. I mean, they basically were like a little island halfway between the main show and the main stand at the back. It wasn't set out exactly as it was set out like the map was, but it was kind of stretched and pushed in certain directions. So certain things weren't exactly next to each other. They might have been kind of off at an angle, if that makes sense. It was sort of pulled in particular directions, which just kind of spread it all out and made it even more open.
Well, then maybe if it's the same size hall, then maybe I'm speaking incorrectly. Maybe there's plenty of room to do just exactly what you were talking about.
There's a couple of comments here here. So it felt much busier, but was in more prominent location. Last year, end of hall, hiding away, but this year near the entrance. So kind of so that's the Mad Maker was saying that he was in a better position. I think there were quite a few voids where stalls could have gone, and there seemed to be a few dead corners. And someone spotted a couple of stands that were empty. So
there was a couple of times where next to us, or opposite, no, not next, next to us, but basically between us and where the Gorilla Glue stand was the Gorilla Glue stage. Yeah. So at one point I'd gone off I went and pinched a circular saw from the guys on Hikoki so I could cut a bit of wood up. And then when I came back, there was a talk on the main stage, so I couldn't cut across the stage because I literally would have been like walking across the back of the stage. So I thought, I'll go around the other side, and I walked along like parallel to the stage, and then cut left, and thinking that there was like a gap between the blocks and the rows, and it wasn't. It was just like a little dead end. So I literally went around a corner, and I was in like a little cul-de-sac 3 meters squared, and was like, I can't go that way. Let's come back out again. There's all these people watching the stage. It's like, he doesn't know where he's going.
Well, it's Richard. Obviously, he doesn't.
The thing was, I did it again about 5 minutes later.
Well, you guys were stuck in the stand. I'd like to know from the people that are out in the chat that weren't stuck in a stand, that actually just walked around the show. I mean, folks, how was that for you? I mean, did you bump into people that you weren't expecting to see, or maybe that you would hope to have seen but weren't sure that you were going to? Or, I mean, because the atmosphere at Maker Central is so weird, because you can be standing there talking to somebody who knows you that you don't know. And did that happen to you guys a lot when you were there? Because that happened to me a couple times last year, where people would rock up to me and say, Chris, how are you? And I'd look at them and go, I don't know who you are. I'm good. How are you? It's like, I felt, it's kind of those awkward moments where people know you, but you don't know them. but they feel like they know you. And they just kind of walk up and start talking, and you kind of have to interrupt them about 2 or 3 minutes into the conversation and go, "I'm sorry, what's your name?" So I can actually have a conversation with you. Did that happen to you guys this year?
That's
all the time.
Likely to happen. But I'll tell you what's even worse is when somebody thinks you're somebody else. I got mistaken for Chris Fisher because
how does that work?
That's what I thought, but actually, what happened was, when we had Chris on the podcast, I basically begged him to let me take Bamba out for a walk whilst he was demoing on our stand.
Right.
He did that. He came over. He walked up to the stand and just went, "Richard," and handed me Bamba's lead. And Bamba's like, "Oh, no, I've got to go." Blah, blah. So Chris starts demoing, and I'm stood there. And of course, as soon as Chris starts demoing, and all of a sudden, kind of Bamba's off duty, everyone wants to like flock around Bamba and give him a fuss. So I'm stood there chatting to a couple of people, and this photographer woman comes up to me and just like, "Oh, it's all right if I get a picture of you and your dog." I was like, "I'm not Chris. Chris is over there working. I'm literally just the hired help. I'm just going to take Barbara a walk." And she was like, "Oh, okay," and walks off. I was like, "Okay."
Thank you.
She was actually probably quite happy that she didn't have to put your face.
That's where you wish you had like one of those handheld signs that you could just hold up and then you pull it out and it says chopped liver. Okay. So I guess I'm just chopped liver.
It wasn't until afterwards that Chris goes, "You should have said, who said that?"
Dave, Dave the wood barber. Dave, just let it go. All right, Jesus, making a big deal out of that whole friggin' event last year. That I didn't know who Dave was, apparently, or whatever the deal was. That I didn't blow him off on purpose. All right, people. Oh my God, I would never do that.
That is an American term that you really have to stop using when talking around English people.
I wouldn't have ignored. Had I known that he was looking for my attention. All right, sorry.
That's okay.
Fanny pack, Steve. Do me a favor. But seriously, I mean, Dave, give me a break, man. I mean, honestly, if I'd known that you would wanted to talk to me, I would have stopped and talked to you. I mean, even the way you look, I would have tried to, manage not throwing up and had a conversation with you. Anyway,
make fail repeat. I think Temple Boy Turnings felt that way when I said hi in the bar. He showed me his banana. Sounds dirty, but he was very proud of that mug.
You know what? Here's one thing that and maybe some folks out in the chat can relate to this as well, because I went to Maker Central last year and expecting, I expected Steve, because I had known Steve very well, and Richard and Jamie and Joe and maybe a couple other people to know who I was, and to say hi to me, go, "Hey, Chris, hey, man, glad to see you can make it." I mean, I expected like a handful of people to know who and what I was all about. And that's God honest. But when I got there, the amount of people that were there, that even if they didn't know me, were just like super freaking friendly. I mean, and it didn't matter who they were either. Everybody tries to put on these airs like these people who have, umpteen million gazillion subscribers are somehow stuck up or not nice people. They are just like you and I. I mean, I walked up into the bar. I think it was early Saturday morning or midday Saturday before the show actually started. I was getting a bit of a late start, and then Peter Brown and his wife were sitting there, and I'm walking by, and Peter goes, "Chris," I'm the likes of somebody like Peter that recognized me and said hello, and I sat down and talked with them. I mean, just the amount of people that were there. It didn't matter whether and I think Jaresta touched on this on Sunday. He said it doesn't matter. We're all like-minded. It doesn't matter what subscribers you have, whatever the case may be, however prominent you may be in the community. It's just a family friggin' atmosphere. And I hope everybody that went to the show experienced the same thing, because that was awesome.
It's kind of one of those things where we all sort of put ourselves and others in various pigeonholes, and that's all it is. Without viewer-only people that don't have channels, people that just watch, there is no channel. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what you're. You can't have one without the other. So it is this huge symbiotic relationship that everyone has. So you might as well just be nice human beings and get on with each other.
Well, I tell you what, that's I don't want to say it's the essence, but that's part of what made leaving Maker Central last year hard for me, is because you felt like and Steve and I were talking about this just before we went live on the air, that you felt like you were hoping that these were people that you like, as Steve said, were like next door neighbors that you could just go see next weekend. And knowing the fact that you're walking out the door and that you're not going to see these very close friends of yours that, you know, that you've made for a long time is very, very hard. And it's very emotional. It's like saying, it's like, you know, shipping off to war or shipping off to something in a place where, you know, you're not going to see somebody you really like for a long time. It makes exiting Maker Central very emotional. I don't want to overplay that. I don't want to overplay it, but I mean, I'm just saying that I found it very hard leaving last year.
So what a lot of people did. Yeah, a lot of people did.
So what have you been doing since you left Maker Central? I know, Chris, that's a lot of things in the last 12 months, but that's to Steve and also people listening live as well. I mean, I was at work on Tuesday because we didn't get home until middle of the afternoon on Monday, and then unpacking everything and sorting it all out, blah, blah, blah. I was back at work yesterday. This morning I was doing some work, but in the workshop, and because I didn't know what time Jamie and Jake were likely to turn up, it was all completely up in the air. So, and that's that. And then we went out for a drink and now we're eating. But what about Steve and the listeners? What's everyone, now you've left and, you know, you've got that emotional kind of post-holiday blues?
Well, Steve, let me interrupt you real quick because I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this a down subject because I came back from Maker Central, rejuvenated, really wanted to get out into my shop and do some things too. So there are ups and downs to that. So if I don't want to make this a down thing, because there are a number of different emotions I came home with. I was injuvenated to get out in my shop and do things, but I was still yet very sad. So, with that said, Steve, go ahead.
That's exactly where I was going because, like, I haven't been doing my own stuff. I haven't been in the workshop. I've been outside. I mean, the weather's been nice, but Kat's been in the workshop doing stuff. Minnie Noodle's been in the workshop more than everyone, turning stuff, and she's had to go. She basically went out to school, came back.
Yeah, she has.
Turning bottle stoppers and project kits from Axminster since she got
hashtag Team Turner.
Booyah.
So I can relate. I'm going to ignore that, Steve, because it's.
Booyah. I'm with you, Steve. Shut up, Richard.
Yeah, like that goes with what you were saying about being rejuvenated and kind of up for more making, because I don't know about you guys. I've been seeing posts on various social media about people that, you know, they've come a long way to the UK perhaps, and they're doing a whole vacation. I mean, Jake's here on vacation. I know Heidi's on vacation from Slaps Together. He's been doing stuff. I think Red Smith was hanging around for a while. There's all these people that have come to the UK, not just for the weekend, but have been hanging around for a while afterwards. That's got to be like a carrying on the high almost, you know? So have you guys been seeing that? I mean, has anyone in the live stream, the live listeners, should I say, been doing stuff like that as well? What?
Because Steve, I know that immediately after the show, you went through just in the ride home with Leona, you guys went through a myriad of emotions, and you know, you came home with a very positive feeling. So, how did that go?
Yeah. I mean, well, first off, the trip home was quite funny. There will be a video coming very soon, because the ferry home wasn't as we expect it would be. It was like we'd stepped onto a trucker's, how can I explain it? Help, Leona. It basically felt like we'd walked onto someone's shed on a float.
By ferry, was it literally like a load of wooden planks and a guy, like one guy in the chair? Or like
I honestly said to Leona, go and have a look out the front of the boat and see, is there a guy pulling on a rope heading towards a load of fog? Because this ferry, we walked in. Yeah, we walked into the main foyer.
You've seen, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, we walked into the main foyer, and we both had the thoughts of the ferry that we came over on, which was like this big elaborate ship with restaurants and duty free and cinemas and just everything, you know, bars on bars and
How do you get
everywhere
duty
you could
free
see
on
it.
the Irish Sea?
Yeah, well, it's basically the barrels of Guinness falling off the ships being shipped, and they come out the ocean.
You just put a hook in them. Anyway, go ahead.
But we walked in up to the reception. The owner handed her keys and did everything she had to do, and then we walked around and we thought, right, we'll go and see what's this end of the ship, and then we'll go for an adventure and get something to eat and blah blah blah. So we walk from the reception into this what looked like someone's back kitchen with a few tables and chairs and a couple of guys standing at a counter. And that was the boat. That was it. It was just 2 rooms full of chairs, a canteen and a bar fixed to the side of that. And then the rest of the boat was either cabins or an outside parking lot where all our cars were with alarms going beep, 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 beep. That was it. That was the boat. There was nothing else. It was just a corner of the boat that we were on.
Leona said that Leona said that you guys genuinely thought that you'd gotten on the wrong boat and were headed to France.
Leona said, we really need to check the name of this boat because I think we thought we'd got, you know, these trucking hauling ships where it's just truckers. They just use it for carrying their freight and stuff like that. We generally thought we took a wrong turn in at the port and driven on to the wrong ship because everyone was so miserable looking as well. But then we sussed it. Well, duh, they're all expecting to be going home on the same boat that they came over in too. But it was just, so we did a mock review. I mean, the food as well. Anyway, wait for the video.
Yeah, I was going to say, please tell me you videoed that. Okay, good. I'll wait for that.
Yeah, we did. I got Leona videoed me because she doesn't like to be the wrong side of the camera, but she videoed me, and we did a mock as if I'd gone in to review the ship. So yeah, wait for that one. It should be. Now it's a bit shaky because Leona's going, and the camera is so the camera's kind of jumping up and down. Oh yes.
Perfect though.
But yeah, when we got back then, I was really tired. I didn't get home until 5:30 in the morning. I was then going to work at 8 o'clock. So a slight slip up in my planning there. I should have took another day off, but I didn't.
Oh man. You must.
So I went to work and I was just a walking zombie. Everyone was really great. My work colleagues were brilliant. They understood that I was completely fatigued and knackered. They put me on as late a duty as I could, and went home and I slept. And it wasn't until I did the live last night that I started getting this lull. Well, I'd already been kind of up and down roller coaster. Oh, it's over, and all the regrets that I've spoken about. That I spent too many hours working and blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I went to work, and obviously myself and Leona have been talking backwards and forwards on Messenger and stuff, and she was feeling a bit there as well. She got a new lathe and she's been trying to set that up and that, but it was just like loads of fun and then nothing. Back to reality. But as I said, once I saw Joe's video tonight, something, I don't know what happened, but something clicked in my head, and I'm totally okay with the weekend now. I did really enjoy it. I realized how much fun I had, and I look forward to the next one. So it was just I'd watched a lot of maker videos, and the Maker Central ones are your normal generic thumping music in the background, boom boom boom, and then going around the show speeded up, and and then showing pictures of stuff going on. Joe's, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. He's just got this very dull tune in the background that you can barely hear. You've got his really cool soft voice talking, and he's just explaining everything that happened and each company and each thing. And it's the fact that he described that, I think whatever clicked in my mind, it was like, yeah, I missed it, but what I was doing, I think I would have found more fun than that. I would have enjoyed it, but not as much as what I was doing. Well, that really did it.
From what I understand and what I've heard from other people besides, and not you, but other people that were there and understood what you did, you inspired a lot of people. So that's you know what, you can't take home better than that. Richard, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Tell Jamie that he's at risk of losing his perfect attendance if he doesn't rock up and say hello to people real soon.
Oh, Jamie, you got a minute?
Yeah.
It's like, we're doing this thing at his convenience as well as to when they were going to get there. So tell him to sit down and come join us, because there's people in the chat that might want to have a conversation with him.
Really?
Yeah, as long as you don't do what Dave the Woodbarber did on my show last night.
We're going to tag team. Oh, sorry, Poppy. I just kicked the dog in the face because she's off the road.
So you get to mute yourself and start giving out to someone. That was funny as hell. Jamie Page. Flop.
Jamie, I was worried about your perfect attendance, man, which is why we need you to get out to join us at some point tonight.
That's all right. You just wanted me to do the old Jamie's Page spiel, didn't you?
No, we didn't. Honestly,
No,
I
not really,
could have lived the rest of my life and not heard that ever again. But I did. I was concerned about your perfect attendance. I didn't want you to lose that today. And
Richard's left his naan bread here. Does anyone want any?
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
How are you all?
Awesome. Jamie, we're talking about the show overview. I mean, things that we weren't able to talk about on Sunday.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of Maker Central is still happening for you because you still got Jake with you. I know that you've cut Berkey loose because Berkey was with you guys for a while too. So, and I think until Jake gets on the plane and you're left sitting back in your house with nobody around, I don't know if that you've had a chance to do much reflecting, but if you have, talk to me about how do you feel about how things went? I mean, and I'm looking for a bummer. I'm looking for you to bring anybody down. I mean, did you leave Maker Central and feel a little more rejuvenated about getting out in your own shop and wanting to do things or see something that was at the show? Was I'd like to give that a go. I mean, what were your feelings?
Do you know what? I left Maker Central, and I've got to give the guy a plug for this from Zach Higgins. He gave me a lot of his leftover blanks, and I got home and I was just looking at it thinking, I want to try that, I want to try that, I want to try that, I want to try that. And yes, I just wanted to get home and turn as much resin as I possibly could. But then all of a sudden we get home, we're so tired, and we've just got to get up and go to the next place. And yeah, so that was kind of put on hold until we get back to the. So, yeah, I did want to go into my workshop.
Well, because your experience as far as what Maker Central was all about isn't really actually over yet. It'll be over when Jake gets on a plane and Andy's gone.
Yeah, that'll be the. Andy's actually already gone. Andy at the moment should be in London. Andy leaves tomorrow morning, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, Jake's here until the 21st. He leaves in the morning of the 21st.
The 21st.
Yeah, so he's got about another week left to go. So
nothing like overstaying your welcome there, Jake. Jesus God. I mean, I'm kidding. Of course. Is he staying with you, Jamie?
Yes. So obviously tonight we're staying over at Richard and Kat's. Tomorrow, and then Richard's taking us to some sawmill, I believe it is, where the guy knows everything about the trees or the log, the wood that he's got, like where the tree was planted, who planted it, etc., going back like decades.
Wow! So
that it's going to be like a history lesson for us.
It's wood with history. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like when Mark Christopher was turning those pens from the Blue Nose ship.
Yeah.
So it's got a story behind it. And Richard, God, you look like a little minion poking your eye into the camera.
So would that be called Wistry?
Wistry. Could be.
Cool.
Or Woodry.
I hope you can share some of that Wistry with us.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll have to see what the hell is he doing. You do the walk down the stairs thing. I remember Jason McGinn doing that one day.
I remember that behind his couch. He did that.
That's it. So yeah, we're going there tomorrow, and then after that, we're heading up to Alsac Shack, where I will be delivering. That's it, the one and only. Well, I shall be delivering Al a lathe. Al is having my old lathe, kind of passing it forward. onto somebody else who's having the chuck and the works. So yeah, if I'm going to get someone turning, I want it to be someone crazy because I can't wait to see what that crazy
Well, I
is going to do with it.
I can tell you this. I saw. I believe it was in the Fools with Tools, and then it was posted under the Fools with Tools name. But I'm pretty sure it was Al. He was standing by a lathe with a chisel in one hand. It was a crotch shot of basically Al. But the point was he was standing in front of some sort of sign that said something Sex Turner. But he was standing in such a position that all it said was Sex Turner. So. Yeah, I think Al's excited to get a lathe. I just don't know that it's going to be what he expects.
Yeah. Well, I bought up a bowl blank as well. Hopefully, we're set it up in the garden or something like that, so we can probably set fire to it and make some green flames and turn that blank into a Catherine wheel.
Awesome.
Cool.
So,
And then shoot it with his cannon.
yeah, there you go.
Boom.
Jamie, I know you were busy at the show as well, but I mean, did you have a chance to walk around, or were you pretty much committed to record power and make with makers, or did you have the opportunity to kind of do a little?
I walked around. I walked around a little, but I've seen a few videos that have come out since. One from a guy called Casual DIY, and after seeing that, I soon realised I didn't see half as much as what was there. Probably not even a quarter amount as what was there. So turns out I missed out on quite a lot. That's the way it goes, though. So just for me, Nick, you're going to put on another one.
Jamie, and while you're here, I wanted to hit you up and say I really like that. Excuse me, that Black Makers International T-shirt you were wearing on Sunday. Where can I get one?
Where can you get one? You will have to see Andy Berkey for that. He's got it in his suitcase with your name on it.
Well,
yeah, got one. It hasn't got your name on it though. It's got the real Steve written on it.
Richard's got one as well. It's got Richard written on it.
Oh, well, I love you. Thank you. Because I honestly, I was editing the video for Sunday in order to get it up in time. And I looked at that shirt and I went, oh, stupid Paige, I want one of those. Where did he get that? It's like, I loved it. Good for you, man.
I bought all of us one.
Did you have
a while back, I think.
Did you have those made? Obviously,
yes, I did,
was it like a Teespring thing, or where'd you have it done?
Do you know what? I honestly can't remember.
Steve,
I think it was a company called Close to Order. I think, but they're all embroidered, except for the name. I think that's just printed on.
No, that's I don't care if it's embroidered or not. I just liked it. I thought it looked rather spiffy. There you go, Fools with Tubes, boys.
I'm an official lathe rider.
Let me let me present you to everyone.
Actually, Steve, you talking about that? I want to apologise to Dave Capasandon about that because I gave him so much grief over the weekend about them lathe riders patches. I was like, "What? You got your own little group, have you now?" I said, "It's like that, is it?" And gave him so much grief about it. I've been picking on him all weekend about it. So yeah.
Really
he knows I was only joking, but
no, he doesn't. Anyway. He actually came up to me and he was actually cried on my shoulder and said he thought that Jamie Page loved him, but apparently you don't. So
tell him to stuff it because he had 2 donuts from me at UKISS.
Yeah, and he couldn't, and he licked his lips with both of them.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? I've been sitting here trying to, because we've been trying to milk it from somebody, either in the chat or one of us, to describe what happened last weekend. And I was looking for a single descriptive word that would cover the event that you guys just went to. And I can't find one. I don't think there's a single word that describes it because there are so many.
Yeah,
I got one.
Go ahead.
Well, it'll be 2 words.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. There's no one
family event.
I said Sunday breathtaking. And for me, that's exactly what it was.
I guess, yeah, that works. That works. I mean, I don't want to overplay it, but I do know what you guys are talking about. It's just I don't know.
Some in the chat.
There's no word that describes both freaking elation, sadness, community. I mean, there's no one word that kind of involves all of the emotions that you go through when you're at.
That's it.
At,
Yeah.
yeah, there really isn't,
Yeah.
because and I don't know. I like I said, I don't want to overblow this and make it sound crazy, but I mean, it was a phenomenal event, and thank you, Dave.
There you go. Phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, we got blurry. That does
Phenomenal.
that does pretty much describe Leona's Maker Central. Blurry, mind blowing, family, and
I'm going to give it to Dave.
Maybe debilitating.
Blurry.
I'm going to go with phenomenal because that just sounds more positive than the rest of them.
Phenomenal. Dude. Well, that's it. To make a central song sorted. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm going to read that. I'm going to write it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. No, hold on. Phenomenal. Maker Central. Phenomenal. Maker Central. Yeah, there you go.
All right. So
sorted.
This Sunday, we're going to have I believe we're going to have Pam Harris with us, and then we're also going to have Jake, since he's going to be, an overstaying guest at Jamie's. We're going to have those people on with us, and we're just going to talk about whatever comes up. But I'm sure that at some point in time during our conversation on Sunday, Maker Central is going to come up. So if any of you folks are out in the chat and you wish to join us on Sunday, then please bring up something you'd like us to speak about as far as this goes too, because I don't know we can cover it all. We've done 2 shows on it. We did 2 shows prior to the event. We've done 2 shows now since the event, and I still don't know that we've covered everything. But I'm glad you guys were able to come join us. And if unless you guys want to stick around a little bit longer, I don't have a problem with that. But I just figured that we're rocking up on about an hour here, so we might want to go and cut this whole thing loose.
I did want to mention one thing. I'm just trying to get the information here. The end of Joe's video that I mentioned, he mentioned that one of the stands there, after they packed away, they actually had their trailer full of stock stolen.
I saw that.
Who was that?
I saw that. I saw that post. Somebody, but it wasn't in Birmingham.
So I just wanted, if
it happened in Coventry.
Yeah, on their journey, they stopped, I think, in services. I'm just going to the end of the video now, and I'll get the name of the company.
But it was somebody who had a booth and was a displayer. I think she was doing a lot of face painting or body art, and they had their whole trailer stolen from them at their hotel in Coventry. That sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Luma Crafts. Llama Crafts. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember seeing that
Llama
stand.
Crafts. Yeah, they were traveling home, I guess, and they pulled the car up and all their gear up, pulled it up, and I think stopped in services or whatever. And when they came out, the trailer was gone. Now there is an investigation and all that being done, but if any of you hear anything or see anything being sold online to do with their products,
Facebook Marketplace.
Get in touch with Nick maybe, and he could. Yeah. So.
Joe
has details actually, I think there. So.
Yeah, there were a lot of art projects. I know that there was some orange chairs so if you see orange chairs, then maybe that would raise an eyebrow. There were also some jewelry that they had out there, but that's just such a sad thing to hear, because I saw the post, and she said it was Maker Central was both awesome and freaking devastating because the fact that they got robbed, and that's just and actually see what happened is they had stopped off at a hotel to spend the night.
Oh, okay.
And they were in their hotel, and they actually heard some noise, looked out the window, and saw their trailer being taken away by somebody in a car. And they're from Ireland too, because they're from your area, Steve. They're from the Republic of Ireland, so they weren't part of the UK, and they weren't quite sure how the police system worked there, and so I guess it took them a while to call the cops. But that's just
it's lava art. Yeah, so if I'd have known that was there, I would have. Anyway, we won't go there. Love here in Ireland is sign language. It's the Irish special needs sign language. So maybe it's stuff to do with that they were making. I don't know. So, but that sucks.
Yeah, big time.
We hope that they get sorted, and I mean, maybe the community will come together as well and help them out a bit.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I mean, as awesome as Maker Central was, I mean, life does continue to go on, even in its not so nice forms. But yes, and Dave, thank you again for bringing that up, because this is something I would be really eager to do, and I don't know that there would be a wide interest in it. I don't think that would attract the crowd that was at Maker Central, but I would actually, I don't know, and I wouldn't care where. I would really dig doing or having some sort of a maker festival where it's an outdoor event where people bring like tents and stuff to camp for a weekend, have nighttime fires. That to me just sounds like a good time. Very relaxing. Nobody putting on airs, nobody having to demo. You do what you want to do. It's just a bunch of people that we all know and love get together around a campfire with some tents, and spend the day doing what we do. I mean, that sounds like a great time.
Make stock.
Yeah, and it should be an island.
I would, if you guys put an event on like that in Ireland.
Hey, I've got the land if you want to come,
brother. In a heartbeat, I would be, because I friggin' love Ireland.
We got the land. You just turn up.
What a beautiful country! What a beautiful country! And if you've never been to Ireland, then absolutely, what a great place to go. Good call.
We could even do a beach fest. We got beaches all around us.
Maker Fest in Ireland. I'm 100% down with that.
No, make stock.
Maker stock, yeah. And then we can, I still have some contacts in the music industry. We might be able to get some people to rock up and play some music for us too. Who knows? Anyway, so
I do actually have a Jamie's page segment this week.
Oh, who cares?
By the way,
that's twice. That's twice
today. I know, but today this is a special one. This is actually a special one.
All right, give it to me.
So today, the podcast actually passed 1,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram today.
Awesome.
So,
that's great.
Well done.
Well done to us, and thank you to everyone for your support.
That rocks. I mean, yeah, great. I mean, it doesn't.
We'd have 1,001 if Chris was on Instagram.
Actually, you know what, Jamie? I went on Instagram because after the show, when you were talking about how you were going to post the, which you haven't done, by the way, post your Jamie's page thing that you did from the stage on Instagram on our account. I went actually on Instagram via my computer. Look, and I'm already following myself, you guys, on Instagram as far as Makers International. But when you get a chance, go ahead and post that, because
I'll go and get it off of Jake and two after we've come off air, and then I'll post it straight away.
You want to hear something funny? Because I found it rather humorous. I'm going, oh my god, you guys are killing me. I am on Instagram. I have one post, and the post that I do have on Instagram was about Maker Central last year. One post. Take a guess how many followers I have on Instagram. 574 followers on Instagram, and I'm not even there. So for you folks that are following me, I'm making it easy on you, aren't I?
Yeah, I guess so.
not hard to follow me. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, you guys want to wrap this up, because I think we're done.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, tell Richard that we said goodbye.
Richard, Chris says he hates you. Nothing. Steve said he hates you.
Ask Richard if he'd like to say goodbye.
Chris said, would you like to say goodbye?
Not to Steve, no.
Not to Steve.
Thanks, JP. That's really nice.
Yeah. Steve didn't say nothing. It was Chris that said it.
All right, folks. I guess and until Sunday, we'll talk to you later.
Take it easy, everybody.
Catch you later, folks.
Bye.
God damn, Steve, you always have to wait like 3 seconds before you say goodbye. I swear to God, it drives me nuts. Every friggin' week I have to edit that little pause out.
I know.
You bastard. All right, seriously, guys, we're going to take off. I'll talk to you later.